Oh, hello, friend. Happy Monday. It's almost Christmas time. Some of you are already taking some time off. Some of you are rushing out there buying gifts for Christmas. Wherever you are, I just want to say hello and stop by today to share a message. I'll be sharing a few messages in the next couple weeks through the beginning of the new year. Today, I want to share a special message about the solstice. You know, I'm not somebody who knows astrology really. I follow some great teachers who are professionals in astrology. Um, I know today it's winter solstice and it's a special solstice because I did some research. Again, I just did this research today because I don't know astrology. I'm not here to play astrology. I'm here to share a message that has to do with astrology because what does my message have to do with astrology? That's what I'm really here for. So I did a little research about this conjunction that's happening today between two planets, Jupiter and Saturn. So I just did some research here what these planets represent, right? So since the solstice, it's so special. And why is the solstice special? If you don't know anything about it, I'll give you some updates here. We have this kind of alignment of these planets, this conjunction, actually, the two planets every 20 years. But what I learned by doing some research is that we have not seen these planets coming so close since 1226. That's right. A long time ago, almost like what, 800 years ago, basically. In 1226 was when these two planets got in almost like a zero alignment. So today, what's happening, I think already happened at 5 a.m. this morning, Colorado or Central Time. Details don't matter. But let's talk about the meaning and why it's making this time right now even more powerful for us. So when I look at the meaning of the planet Jupiter, Jupiter means the mentor, the teacher. It means growth. It means expansion. It means a great time to evolve. So there's this energy, and I already been talking about this, the energy that has been this year in the universe, and that I'm more in touch with. I don't know a lot about astrology, but I can really sense energy, the intensity of energies. And we all know that the intensity of this year has been amplified. What I mean by that is for the people who, let's not even talk about the virus, but let's say the people who are struggling, for example, with stress and anxiety, because the amplification of this energy, they felt even more stress and more anxiety. The people who are making some positive changes and they're in a state of creativity, expansion, they got even more creative and more expansive. For me, was a year of a lot of growth. I went through a lot of life changes this year, and kind of life pushed me to my knees, to a place of surrender. So this year was a year for me to amplify my spirituality, amplify my my connection with my heart, my connection with the source. And it has been amplified tremendously in the last 2 months. And I've been taking advantage of this the power of this energy. Think about this. It's like a portal opening with so much force that we can use that for our advantage to grow, to expand, to really shift our life into the direction that we want. And for the people who are not ready for this growth, this expansion, they're going to feel a lot of turmoil, a lot of chaos, a lot of crisis, because these energies actually are affecting everybody. And the more in tune you are with this intensity going on right now, the better, because when you're in tune with this intensity and you choose to work with this intensity, you can have exponential changes. Like I've been having breakthroughs, mental breakthroughs, emotional breakthroughs almost every day since I really opened my heart to a lot of healing and to a lot of letting go what doesn't serve me. It's been crazy. I never experienced this in my entire life. Back to this conjunction. This conjunction is special because these two planets will be almost at 0 degree. Zero has a very, zero is very meaningful. Zero, it's a place of pure potential. Think of zero as the middle of a coin. If you look at a coin, the coin has the positive and has the negative, right? And in the middle is not positive or negative. In the middle is a place, what we call a place of pure potential, a place that anything is possible. So it's interesting that these planets are pretty much aligned at zero in the axis today, which means for all of us, it's a great time to contemplate on what is possible in your life. And since Jupiter means a lot of expansion and growth, Saturn means like leadership, rules, making rules in our life. Saturn, interesting enough, also means the god of seeds. So it's a great time. It's a great day today and the next 2 days. I think this port is pretty much open for 3 days. Again, I'm not an astrologist. Do your own research out there. Based on what I learned, but especially today, make sure there's still time. Here in Colorado, it's only 2:15. Make sure before you go to bed tonight, you invest some time meditating, journaling, taking a walk if it's nice out, and reflecting in your life right now. And especially not reflecting just on the past and focus on the pain and the challenges. No, using your focus to create. Because when you look ahead and you start using the power of your attention, which is your focus, to create what you want, in a way, it's like you're sailing, you're like in a boat and you're setting your sails. Where do you want to go? It's a great time, a great day to ask yourself, what direction I want my life to go? And it's time for you to take charge, because Saturn also means wisdom, responsibility, discipline. And what I want to talk about, and this is where my message really comes from. I thought was kind of interesting to look at the meaning of this conjunction today and look at the meaning of the two planets, because it really aligned with my work, the work I'm doing right now, and the work I'm teaching others. But a message that I've been sharing with some of my clients, I had a really tough conversation with one of my clients this morning, for example. Let's talk about rules. What is the point of making rules? Rules are created to end chaos. When there's chaos, the way to bring things to order, we need to create rules. We need stoplights, traffic lights on the street, so we're not hitting each other. We need lines at the grocery store, so we're not fighting who's going to go first, right? You need to create rules. You need to create rules for your money, rules for your kids if you have children, rules, even in your relationship. So if we don't have certain rules, we'll live in a state of chaos. So whatever is feeling chaotic in your life right now, it's a great place for you to take a look and ask, what rules do I need to create? I want you to think about rules, because rules can have that rigidity sound, right? But think about rules as more like a way to create discipline. And I've been replacing the word discipline with even a better word, which is devotion. What I'm going to devote myself to. Devotion to your health, devotion to your beloved. Devotion right now is to my heart, is to God. So what is a devotion, and what rules do you need to create to make sure you stay in that place of devotion? So I want to talk about rules. And the hard conversation I had with one of my clients today was talking about this rule. The number one rule that I want to share with you, 3 rules that I want you to reflect on and maybe bring them into 2021 and start today. Rule number 1, you need to learn how to love yourself. Believe it or not, most people don't love themselves. I had a really tough conversation when my client this morning literally told me, I don't like myself. She was in tears. I just had a conversation with an incredible man who is in a state of apathy right now in his life. And the state of apathy is pretty much saying, I don't like myself. I don't like my life, and I don't care about anything. So we have I am, I get concerned about this. I get concerned that most people don't love themselves. And honestly, I thought I loved myself. And the way I loved myself was more in an egotistical way. Okay. In the outside, you might have seen me always taking good care of my health, always taking care of myself, which look like self-love. But it wasn't until this year that I realized a lot of my self-love was more like an egotistical self-love. I'm not talking about that self-love that goes and buy yourself a new bag. For me, a new bicycle, or you go, go have a massage, go have a pedicure, manicure. Yes, those are cool actions that, gifts that you give to yourself. I'm talking about much deeper love here. I'm talking about that love that is not met by stuff, that is not met by buying a new iPhone or a new toy. That love that you feel when you're sitting with yourself alone, or you're looking in the mirror and you can honestly, authentically say, I like you. I like who you are. I like your body. I like the things you are achieving in your life. I like the way you're showing up to your friends or family, whatever that is. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking that true love for yourself, where you can put your hand in your heart and say, I appreciate you so much. Can you touch your own heart and say, in authenticity, how much you appreciate yourself? I must say, I didn't really learn that until this year, where again, I was brought to my knees. I experienced a lot of pain this year. I experienced heartbreak. I experienced a lot of fear this year. And I was really pushed down on to my knees, and I stay on my knees in that true place of surrender. That's how I learned how to create a deeper relationship with my heart, create a deeper relationship with the source, the field, God, whatever you want to call. In other words, deepen my spirituality. And today, my spirituality is a number one value in my life. So make a rule for yourself. If you don't know this yet, make a rule to learn how to truly love you. It's the best gift you can give to those who you love, is to love yourself, because when you love yourself, you're going to heal, to transform, to transcend. You're going to become the true you, the best version of you, because that best version of you is already in there. It's already right here. It's already there. You just got to let go of the clutter. Just got to let go of the negative emotions. You got to let go. This is another rule under rule number one. I'm still number one. So if you need to pause this video and grab a cup of tea, go do that. Pause this video because it's going to be a little long. You need to make a rule. And I'm going to ask you to make this rule. And I'm going to be tough on you. You have to do this. Stop judging yourself. Stop criticizing yourself. Stop being so hard on you. Stop it. Needs to stop. Every time you judge yourself, you hard on yourself, you push yourself, you punish yourself, that's the opposite of self-love. That's self-hatred. I had self-hatred. I touched self-hatred for the first time in my life this year. And I couldn't believe it. I needed to touch that darkness of anger and hatred towards myself in order to feel the love on the other side. Because that's the beauty, like a coin. The contrast of life is when you get in touch with your own darkness, when you sit there and you befriend your darkness, the other side of that is the love, is the light. So you got to be able, like the solstice, right? The the darkest day, right? The longest, darkest day. It's a day that invites us, it's a period that invites us to see with our darkness. And when you see with your darkness, you get to see the other side, which is an even more brilliant light. That's who you are. So make this rule, please, for you, for your loving ones, for me, for the world. Stop judging yourself. When you walk around and you see a beautiful tree, do you judge the tree? God, this tree is so ugly. This tree should be more straight, but it's kind of, to the side. What a terrible tree. I don't like this tree. Or if you see a rainbow, do you say, God, this rainbow needs to change colors. This rainbow needs to be, it needs to angle in a different way. This rainbow needs to be a little bit higher. This rainbow is too short. This rainbow is too dull. Do you do that? Do you look at the ocean and say, oh God, this ocean is so ugly. This ocean, it's so loud. You don't do that. You don't do that to nature. We are nature. So there's that saying, treat yourself like you would treat your very best friend. I'm going to go even above. Treat yourself like you are an angel. Treat yourself like you are a beautiful rose. Treat yourself like this beautiful hummingbird. Treat yourself with gentleness and love. Make that a rule. Rule number 2 that I encourage you to bring into this new year and contemplate on this. Develop courage. The courage to be you. The courage to be your authentic self. And you might say, well, my authentic self, it's loud, it's obnoxious, it's mean at times. Embrace all parts of you. And then, yes, we all have room to improve. Being authentic self, it doesn't mean I'm going to be me and not make any changes. No, being authentic self. First of all, embrace all parts of you. Embrace the good, the bad, the highs, the lows, the positive, the negative, the light and the shadow, because we are all. And it's only by recognizing our shadow, or we call negative aspects of you. It's only by acknowledging, by creating awareness on those qualities, that you can manage those qualities and then bring to the light. Once you find that shadow, that part of you that is operating from your ego, my God, I just wrote a new chapter of my new book, and the chapter was about the ego. And I realized I was writing the chapter for myself. So this new book I'm writing is about my own process that I know a lot of high achievers go through. It's about the shadow of the high achiever and how we operate so much from our ego, from that place like, I'm so powerful, I can create everything I want. No, we can't. We co-creators. We're creating with the universe. We're not creating alone. Okay? So this number 2 rule is about courage. Have the courage to be you and own it. Own it who you are. With no apologies. Own who you are. And from that space, love all your qualities. And then you start polishing those qualities that don't serve you anymore. Right? I fired 3 ego qualities that I had last week. I literally fired them. I fired arrogance. I fired entitlement. And I fired superiority or judgment. I fired them. Doesn't mean I'm not going to have my moments. It means, though, that I don't welcome those qualities anymore. And if I show up in those qualities, I know I'm going to catch it right away and I'm going to recalibrate. So this work is not about being perfect. It's about striving for excellence. It's striving to be the person who you want to be. And that takes courage. I also want you to develop more courage to heal, to transform, to sit with your own pain so you can show up in your brilliance. Because when you show up in your brilliance, you're benefiting yourself and you're benefiting everybody around you. When you live in pain, suffering, in a state of protection, and when you live in a state of protection, like protecting a secret, you don't get to experience true love, and people don't get to experience the truth of you, the truth of who you are. So when you heal, you are serving the world by your healing. And also you're liberating others, you're giving others the permission to free themselves. So many people are living in the prison. And you know what the prison is? It's in between your ears. It's the mind, it's the brain. This is our prison. Can be our worst enemy. It's time to free, forgive, and free. So develop the courage to free yourself. Do the work. Do the work. And you don't need to be alone. You have your friends, you have your family, you work with a skilled therapist, you work with a coach like myself, where we hold your hand and do the work with you. We sit with you. I sit with my clients in their darkness. I hold a space of love and compassion. And that's when the magic happens. Okay? So number three rule is the 3 R's: restore, rest, and reset. We talk about 0, right? I talk about 0, the place of pure potential. Think of reset. It's just that. You bring yourself to 0, meaning stop living in the past, stop focusing on what can go wrong in the future. Reset. Bring that to the present moment where it's pure potential. And when you're in a place of pure potential, you are in a true place of creation. So give yourself permission, especially in these next few days before the new year. Don't carry the exhaustion, the fatigue, the baggage from this year into the new year. You have a chance to release and let it go. Travel light. Let it go. Travel light. You're going to have more energy, more vitality when you travel light. So practice 3 R's: restore, rest, and reset. Okay? Set the direction of your life. Take charge. So many people are living. I had 2 conversations with 2 people today. They are living in the state of reaction. When you're in reaction, you are living inside a program. You're not in charge. This program, which is your conditioning, it's taking you, and you are a victim of this program. You got to stop. You got to interrupt the pattern. You got to interrupt this loop, this vicious cycle. Stop. And the way to interrupt is by pausing, reflecting, and taking responsibility. That's what Saturn is about. The god of seeds, wisdom, patience, is what gives you structure to our lives. Talk to any healthy, successful, happy person. They have a level of structure in their lives that got them there. I'm healthy because I have a structure around my workouts, my food, my sleep, my hydration, my breath work. And it's not rigid. It's fun. When you start seeing the benefits at 50 years old, I have more energy than I ever had in my life. And why? Because of the daily rules I have for myself. And the rules are not rigid. The rules just give me a structure so I can show up at the levels that I want to show up every day. So I'm going to wrap it up here with this message that this is an incredible amplified time that we're living. We are moving to an era of higher consciousness. We've been talking about this for a long time, but also big era of awakening. We need to wake up. What does it mean to wake up? It means you got to get out of your own trance first. If you are caught in this program where you're reacting to life and you're doing the same things every single day and complaining about the results that you're not getting, you are in trance. This is being trance. You know those times you're driving and you get to a place and you don't even remember which way, you don't even remember what street you were driving on? That's a trance. You already do this. And when you are caught in this program, you are living a trance, and it's time to interrupt that. It's time to interrupt the pattern, get out of the loop, and wake up and look at the areas of your life that maybe it's in chaos. Look at parts of your body that feels in chaos. Your body, it's absorbing everything that is happening. And your outside world, it's a reflection of your inside world. Reflection of your mind, reflection of your body, how you feel. So the message is interrupt those patterns, create some new rules. Rule number 1, you must love yourself. Number 2, develop courage. Number 3, the 3 R's: rest, restore, reset. That's what I'm going to share. So today is solstice. It's the beginning of this period that we have a tremendous power to shift our lives, do some journaling, meditate, set some strong intentions, and most importantly, pay attention on your thoughts. The words that you use with yourself and towards others, but especially the self-dialogue. Deepak Chopra says we have about 80,000 thoughts a day, and almost 90% of those thoughts for most people are negative. Now think about that. If most of your thoughts are negative, that's what you're creating. That's where your attention is. Where you put your attention grows. So be very aware in the next few days, especially today and next few days. What are your thoughts? Where is your focus? If you keep focusing on what is wrong and what is lacking and what is messed up, you will get more of those things. So be intentional. That's why I meant to get out of your trance. Be intentional where you put your thoughts. What words are you using towards yourself? Rule number 1, self-love. So use words of love towards yourself. Train yourself. Everything is training. I wasn't born this way. I wasn't happy. I was stressed out. I was anxious. I never lived in abundance. I never had peace of mind. And now I have it all. But if you look outside my life, it looks the same. But here it feels completely different because I train myself, and you can train yourself. And that's what I teach. So if you have any interest in learning how to train yourself every day to become the person you want to become, do the things you love, have what you want, live a happy and healthy life, schedule a call. You can work one-on-one with me, or you can be part of my Fit to Thrive program that starts in about a month again. It's a 12-week online program, group coaching program, and I can help you with these strategies. I can help with these practices. Everything is training. Everything is training. So, sorry I went too long here, but I'm just in a state of flow, and this message just came downloaded to give it to you. I meditated before this video to really get in tune what was the message to share with you. And the main message to share with you today was about creating rules, because when you create rules in times of chaos, you create order, you put a direction. So my question is, where do you want to go? Where do you want to end up? And it's going to be twisty. It's not a straight line. And when you have this knowing where you're going, navigating through the stress of life becomes much easier. So thank you so much. I'll be sharing other messages. And if I don't see you before Christmas, have an amazing Christmas and happy solstice, my friend. Thank you so much.